Hey folks, it's Spitz with Pixels and Pills at Digital Pharma East in Philly 2012. It's my pleasure to have James Chase, Editor-in-Chief of MM&M, over here at the conference, Day 3 Mobile. What are some of your thoughts with the deluge of content, case studies, and insights that we've been hit with over the last few days?
Well, thanks for letting me drop by. It's certainly a deluge, but I guess it's interesting, looking at this from the outside, from as a magazine editor. I mean, it's every year I look at this as a sort of benchmarking. How is the industry doing? On digital. Are we nearly there yet? It's a little like when you're on a sort of a long overnight flight or something, and you can't get to sleep, and you're looking at the map, and the plane doesn't move. You watch it too closely, you think, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Then you go away, do something else, and you come back to this show, and you think, oh, you know what? We're progressing. We're moving along a little bit. And I think there's been some encouraging signs, here. Particularly like the all-star panel of pharma people. I think it was on Tuesday. Was it about 15 days ago? I don't know when when those 6 pharma guys were talking about now that they're friends with MedLegal and their MedLegal people have iPhones and iPads, and they're starting to get to grips with some of this stuff, and they're finding ways to to push projects through. A lot of the time it's baby steps, as I think Joe Mercado at Sanofi mentioned. But if you can collect wins along the way, we can build momentum and actually get some of this stuff through. I mean, on the other side of that's balanced out. I think the panel with Mark and Schwinn yesterday. The people that had fled pharma, a little bit frustrated with how slow moving it is. Have jumped out of the plane and swam for it and done their own thing. But I think overall it's encouraging, and I think we're definitely climbing the curve. We may not have the cable car whizzing us up there, but we're putting the pegs in place and moving on up and making things happen. I think again, just saw with Todd from Pfizer, talking about they get the vessel in place, and then suddenly they're able to push through 10 branded mobile sites in 4 months, something like that. So I think it's overall it's encouraging. It's never going to be the fastest moving industry in the world.
Absolutely. Let's shift it for a second to MM&M. You guys are pretty much the authoritative source in healthcare communications and reporting, and the playing field's shifted all out from under you too now with digital changing. How has that impacted publishing within the space? Obviously, you've got the hard copy mag. Yeah. There isn't an agency around that doesn't have you on the coffee table and in the VP's office. Then you've got, obviously, the digital expression of it. You do outreach in terms of CRM and email and newsletters and the whole like. How has your business model evolved with the changes in digital?
Well, there are definitely synergies with what we're seeing, what pharma's going through, actually. I mean, I guess like the most profound quote was somebody said the other day, it's like 20% of our budget, 70% of our time, and 90% of our frustration, and there are probably, 5 of us to do all of those things. But I guess we're sort of uniquely placed because the print version of MM&M, we're 47 years old, still has a lot of traction. So we still want to maintain that and do all the wonderful things, with the same size team that we used to have to just do print. But of course, we're doing daily news and newsletters and awards and all of these other channels. And it's, we're trying not to spread ourselves and the brand too thinly. And I think we're doing a great job of that. But as a lot of our pharma friends here have said on numerous panels this week, it's tough. It's tough. It takes a lot of time and effort, and you don't immediately get the rewards for that, but you got to do it. You got to be where people want to see your content, and you got to have context, and you got to keep the quality there. So that's really our challenge.
Let's talk about content for a second. Now we're day 3, which is mobile. Everyone's talking about responsive design. It's changing the user experience. In terms of a magazine's content, when you're shifting from a big hard copy folio, smart looking, high glossy publication to digital stuff that's first desktop only, and then you're shifting email, obviously, but even more significantly now tablets. The iPad mini's coming out. It's getting change in design and layout and progressively smaller, right? Because we're getting more and more mobile. How has that impacted content in this Twitter age of 140 characters and everyone with attention spans in the nanosecond?
I would love to say like everybody else that we're streets ahead of the curve on this, and we have everything in place. On the one hand, I guess our biggest hurdle is publishing is a sort of has an old school psyche, attached to it, and we're all used to putting out a monthly magazine and then taking a deep breath, and then it's like, oh, then we should put some stuff on the web. That was how it was a few years ago. Luckily, our publishing company, Haymarket Media Inc., has a central web development team that's probably 3 times the size of any content team now. So in the same way that Todd was just talking about, you build this central vessel from which you can use to implement all of this stuff across all your brands. We're doing the same thing. So we're not just MM&M. We have a whole bunch of other titles that we publish globally. So we have the blueprint in place, and one by one, we're optimizing things. We're making apps. We're doing iPad versions, digital versions of the print version, but it's again, it's baby steps. It's bit by bit. We're trying to do that and maintain the quality of the product at the same time. It's a juggling act. It really is.
Thanks, James Chasefeld, editor-in-chief of MM&M, talking about economy of scale from offline to digital, talking about the changing digital health and pharma medical device playing field. Spitz with Pixels and Pills at Digital Pharma East in Philly 2012. Thanks so much for your time.